actually two last things, and then if you wouldn't mind taking some questions from the audience.
Yeah, that's fine.
So first thing, this is something I kind of prepped you on before we got started. So you talk about how if we want third positionism in America, it has to be in the Americana tradition, right? There's a Volk to every group of people, and what was the spirit of the Germans, 1930s, 1940s, the spirit of the Italians, roughly the same time, the spirit of the Russians, or the spirit of the founding fathers in the United States, it was always localized to those people at that time in that region. So what kind of Americana tradition, or how would you meld Americana tradition with third positionism?
Well, you would have to have some form of parliamentary representation. I don't think that's anything Americans will ever really give up. You have to have some kind of local representative in the federal element. So yeah, third position will definitely have to look like that. I can't see Americans getting rid of that. Also guns. I mean, I think I don't know, probably what they will have problems with is having mandatory military service. But at the same time, people are having that. You're having access to guns and maybe even be issued your military rifle after you leave your mandatory service. So you're having guns there. That's definitely something that's Americana that Europe and a lot of the other world doesn't really get, but that's something that's been with us since the birth of this country. So you can't ever get rid of it. And I wouldn't want to anyways. I think every house should be armed. So it's a good thing. I think things like that are the main things to where, and also private property, and also having not too much interference in small business, regulations instead of full out central control, etc., monitorization of things. I think simple things like that is heavily intertwined in Americana. And that's something that people who love the Constitution or love the idea America was created on can acknowledge, hey, there's flaws to it as well. It can be taken advantage of. And I think we're living in a perfect example of how you can take advantage of the Constitution. So I think solidifying it with third position, with keeping some elements of constitutionalism, I think that is palatable to Americans, much more so than anything Bernie Sanders or Elizabeth Warren would preach as well. And I think it's much more beneficial than anything any conservatives is going to preach as well. So
great points.